Hello and welcome back to KSP AD ASTRA. Today we are launching an Eve lander. I don't know why I said it like that, but first we're starting off with Odin's Hab upgrade. So this is being launched on a Phoenix 2. It is going to Odin Station, which is a decent bit out, but we are installing an entire new habitation module. This habitation module will up the livable space for the Kerbals, making it so that they don't go insane, and we can keep Kerbals on the station far longer than we have before without issues. I have finally started to understand the life support mod. Whoa, who would have known? Anyway, we are currently getting up into a, we're currently circularizing our orbit over Kerbin, and we will slowly get an encounter right here. There we go. That is a good encounter. It's very close to where we need to go, and we need to basically just burn to get our quick little encounter. So this habitation module is made up of 3 hitchhiker storage modules that have quite a bit of space inside of them, good for space station hubs. Anyway, there is multiple RCS, and it is fully kitted out with, well, everything Kerbals would need. It has no power generation on board, so we are kind of a little bit stuck on that one, but that is fine. It also has 2 docking ports on the side, as well as being made from these massive docking ports, the docking port seniors, which are better for just overall stability of the station. Off camera on a live stream that I did recently, Metzley Station kind of fell apart. It just shot pieces off all over the place, and I want to go for thicker docking ports, which I don't know if they would help the issue, but it makes me feel better, and they're better for like stability when you're rotating the station and stuff like that. They're just better. But here we go. We are lining up with the station, and we're going to come in and dock. Just real quick. There we go. Oh, we hit the side, and we have to readjust. And I had to pull out the docking camera just to see perfectly, and there we go. We are lined up perfectly and docked. Okay, so now we need to separate that other portion just so the aesthetics of the station look a little better. Unfortunately, that portion of the station does not have RCS, so we actually had to move the whole station around. I unfortunately forgot that I did not have SAS on, and you'll see me figure that out in just a couple of seconds here. And there we go. Now I can actually control the station fairly well, and I found it not too hard to readjust the station. There we go. We are docked. Now the station looks good, and then yeah, looks about good. Anyway, here's Odin life support. We needed to put some more life support on the station because, well, it needs it. It is a larger station, and I thought that it should be able to create its own supplies because, well, it needs it. I want to start putting multiple crews of Kerbals on board. I want to start keeping track of the Kerbals a lot better. That way we can keep the Kerbals up there for longer periods of time, make sure the station is always manned, and actually start building out like massive like fuel depots, especially on Odin Station. Odin Station is in a perfect position for a good fuel depot, and it would just help out tremendously, especially for larger interplanetary missions. Now, this life support module also has like the hydroponics thing that we were going to put on Nimbus, but ended up crashing into the side. It has a recycler on board, and it has some solar panels. Now, these solar panels are just meant to help supplement their energy draw, while not just entirely being to create power, because those solar panels are not enough to, not draw all the power. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of an oversight, and there are no bottom RCS thrusters on the bottom end of this portion of the station, so we had to improvise a little when we get a little closer. There are some RCS on the top, so that can be used for just a minimal guidance. But here we are coming into the station, just very quickly. And here we go, just going to slow down our acceleration. And I decided that we're going to at least try a more lazy method of docking. There we go. Just gotta face the station. There we go. Slow down. Make sure I'm almost directly underneath it. And here I go. Yeah, this is a very slow approach. You are currently watching this at 8 times speed. It's probably going to be a much slower, it was much slower in real life. But here we go. I just did the thing where you point the station at the craft and then the craft at the station, and then you can kind of get them to just run into each other, and that works pretty well for docking. But here we go. And once we have this on board, all those Kerbals will be well, first off, it'll double the living space pretty easily. And then we can also just get a lot of stuff out of the way. And now I'm going to deorbit this. I landed it off camera. It successfully landed in the ocean just outside of the KSC, which was pretty good. Now, here is our Eve probe. It is Venus 2, and it is launching on the Phoenix 2 launch vehicle. And it is going to be a fairly extensive launch here. But unlike the last 2 missions, the first stage is going to be reused, which is great, because it would not be great if it was not used, because those first stages are expensive. The only problem with them is that they take up a lot of time to land. They are absolutely annoying for how long they take to land. That's why sometimes I just opt not to do it, because I'm running low on time and it takes a long time, and I'd rather just take the hit in the money department. Now there's our first stage coming down, as our second stage circularizes the orbit. Here's the first stage coming down over land in what looks to be like a city. But thankfully, those cities don't actually exist, or there would be real issues here. There we go. And now we are back in space. So I targeted Eve. This is going to be a fairly aggressive burn towards Eve. And I had the option of doing it there, but I decided, no, we're going to do it over there. And so it's only going to reach Eve in about 60-ish days, which is pretty good time-wise. So there we go. Now we are going to aim towards the station. Or not towards the station, towards the planet, basically. It is almost a perfect aiming towards the planet in order to burn there, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, we're going to fast forward just a little bit. And we are going to fire that skipper engine, I believe it's the skipper, towards the planet. I keep saying, I feel like I have nothing else to say. Yeah. Anyway, this mission is meant for it to land on Eve, so it does have a pretty large heat shield, and on top of that, it is all encased inside of that heat protected container, basically the storage container. So that should allow for a pretty decent landing. There we go. Even the solar panels are protected by the container, which also helps. Here's Astra 16, which was also launched on a Phoenix 2, but for some reason I didn't record it going into space. But here it is in space, and it is on its way to Odin Station. Yeah, it'll be our set of Kerbals that we had to send up there for it to function like a station. Because we need someone to man both the science module and the habitation module, which I think is a good idea. Anyway, our craft is, well, it's on its way to the station, and it will get there in a very short period of time. There we go. We have encountered the station, and we are going to perform our encounter burn, or basically we had to match the velocity of the station in order to dock to the station and continue the rendezvous with the station. If not, it would just be a very high speed flyby, and that's not really good for trying to get Kerbals from one craft to another. Trust me, I've tried to do it. It is absolutely stressful, and you will most likely lose a couple of Kerbals. Now, we are going to get closer to the station. The station is not super far away, but there we go. We just need to burn to slow down, and then we can point towards the station and get a lot closer. There we go. Getting closer. And this is when I'm going to do the obligatory, hey, you should probably subscribe. Because if you've made it this far in the video, you must be enjoying it. You must be enjoying this horrific, rambly mess that is a video that I have thrown together. Yeah. Hope you enjoy the rambly mess. Anyway, here we are. We're coming in for a docking pretty quickly, and I kind of bumped it. I kind of bumped the station, had to go around and redock to try to dock to the station again, because that was just unacceptable. But here we go. I changed the docking port that we should go to because that docking port seemed kind of hard to get to. And there we go. I am lining up pretty well. I'm in the light, which also kind of helps. And there we go. We have docked to the station, and we can transfer our Kerbals throughout the station, and so that they can do the jobs that they need to do. Yep, and for some reason I included the part where I did nothing for a couple minutes while I was on the stream doing this. Anyway, our Kerbals are now manning the parts of the station that they need to man, and I have turned on all of the things, and that's when I realized that we needed more power. And that is where we got the power storage unit, which is launching on a Phoenix 2. This is going to help us get into the ability so that we can go through the dark side of the planet without losing all of the power and our Kerbals dying. Because life support is expensive power-wise. We have to have lots and lots and lots of power storage. That leaves us, here we are, launching this craft with just tons and tons and tons of batteries on it. When you see it, when you see the module itself, yep, right here, see all that black? That's like 20 batteries. Those are those 20 like 2.5 size batteries, and all of them hold like a decent amount of electric charge, giving us like 100,000 units of electric charge in this one giant battery, which will definitely help us, well, not kill our Kerbals, which is always great. They'll be actually kind of hurting by the time we get up there, because they'll have just gone through an electric charge blackout. Thankfully, there is enough life support and enough, just being alive on there to not kill them by the time we go through it. But, almost killing our Kerbals on a daily basis is, not good for the Kerbals. I feel like that would be very stressful for them. Probably not good publicity. And it would probably not make people want to be stationed on Odin when we're trying to make it a much larger station. I know that they don't really get a choice because it is a fictional video game, but I would like to let them have somewhat of a choice. And actually, I was thinking about creating an Excel spreadsheet where I include like failed missions on the spreadsheet and see which Kerbals were on it, and then I kind of place blame on them, and then I stick them in less desirable positions. I think that would be hilarious. So I'm going to do that. I think that is actually an amazing idea. And now that I'm actually saying it out loud, I actually really love the idea of doing that. So yeah, I am 100% going to do that. Yeah, here we are. We are currently just doing a little towards the station. There is enough monopropellant, and we do have fully functional RCS thrusters on this module. So it will definitely not have really any inability of making it there. Now, I accidentally caused this thing to flip around. Oopsies. But here we go. We are going to line up with the underside, and we are going to make sure that we can dock real quick. And once we dock, we will be able to not kill our Kerbals on a daily basis. I was just making sure it's all lined up, and there we go. The Kerbals have infinite power, not infinite, but like enough power. Now we're back at Surya 2, which is currently in interplanetary space. If you don't remember last episode, Surya 2 is here to help us find planets in interplanetary space. Yeah, it is going to help us discover where these planets are, and right now it is currently cooking from how close it is to the sun. Thankfully, it doesn't need to be that cold, and we are able to put it in a decently elliptical orbit so that it can get far enough away from the sun to not cook very regularly. If we kept it this close to the sun, it would probably get really hot for too long, and in space it's really hard to radiate heat away, and yeah, it takes a really long time to cool things down. And if it just was not able to cool itself down, that would be very bad. It would probably eventually overheat. Yeah. So here I am, just trying to find any sort of location as possible. I'm just clicking it away. We are finding all sorts of locations, mostly around Sarnus and Erlum. And we finally got a position for Erlum in the outer solar system, which is great. There we go. We have discovered a bunch of planets, including Moho, which is why we're going to cut to Mercury 2, which is currently doing a correction burn to get itself to Moho. Yes, in the last episode, it was currently lost and it had no way of finding Moho, so I put it in a fun little circular orbit, but now it finally has an encounter. I'm going to, granted, its encounter is pretty fast, so, and for some reason there is some sort of Kraken drive action going on right now, which is currently causing it to flip, and its like location to change, even though it doesn't have any RCS on. And now we are at Aurora Station, which is currently in a polar orbit, and Aurora Station is expensive, it's hard to get to, and I don't like sending Kerbals there, so yeah, while it was a cool station and a cool orbit, I'm deorbiting it. It sucks. I don't like it. it's really no point in sending Kerbals there. There's no extra value for it being a polar station. This isn't realism, not realism overhaul, but it's not RSS or anything like that. There's really no point. I'm not making any sort of gains by having Kerbals in a polar station. I just thought it'd be cool to be there. It served its purpose, and it is going to burn up in the atmosphere. So I'm currently deorbiting it with the Kerbals on board. They're going to disconnect, and they are going to make themselves all the way down to the surface. So there we go. We have disconnected, and we are getting as far away from the station as possible in this short amount of time, and we are going to deorbit. Here we are. We're going to scrape the atmosphere and slow ourselves down significantly, as atmosphere causes friction. Friction causes you to slow down. It also builds up heat, but it's not enough heat, and it's actually not the thing that causes the atmosphere to cause that plasma that you see when things re-enter. So that plasma that you see when things re-enter is actually because gases are getting compressed to the underside, heating, basically superheating them and then turning them into plasma. And that is why you see, well, this. Yep. Yeah, it's just superheated, compressed air, not friction. Anyway, here we are. They have safely returned our brave Kerbals, who will get top marks in my thing and will never, and probably won't be sat somewhere horrific in the near future. Anyway, we are finally here. Venus 2 is doing a correction burn in interplanetary space, and this will be bringing us to the very end of the video. In the next video, you will most likely be able to see the, Venus probe hitting the atmosphere of Venus, and maybe even MOHO, being landed on. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!